I kind of jokingly call myself a song scientist, a researcher, like a life researcher.
Hello, live from C2C Festival, and today I'm joined by Steven Wilson Jr., who is his father's son.
Correct.
Yes.
You nailed it.
Thank you. So how's Berlin been treating you so far?
Very good. The people have been incredibly nice. The festivals went off without a hitch, and it's just in a beautiful city. The history and everything. I've only been here, a day and a half, so I've been a little jet lagged. I'm just trying to stay up through it all and sleep at night. But it's just an incredibly historic city, and the people have been just lovely, and the weather's been nice too.
Yeah, it's pretty warm for winter actually. Yeah, so
I agree, and I like
pretty good.
I like the gray skies. I know people. I know Berliners kind of complain about the gray, but I like it. So.
We do a lot, but I think it's also a German thing to complain about things. So
no, it's all right. The gray matches my music, so.
So let's talk about your music a little bit.
Sure.
First of all, congratulations on a phenomenal show at the Bluebird Cafe event yesterday.
Oh, thank you.
I really loved it. And what was it like to bring Bluebird Cafe to Berlin?
It meant a lot because the Bluebird Cafe is that's where I first played a song in front of people. It's where I kind of first got the courage to sing because I was a songwriter mainly with an anticipation of other people singing my songs. I didn't really get into this. I used to be a scientist in my former life, and I quit my job to basically just write songs and never dreamed that I'd be singing them. But the Bluebird was the first place I did that. And so to take that kind of moment where it all began, years later, and move it here and playing in that incredible church in front of 700 people, it was just a really just stunning event. And there was so much going on in the room, of another dimension, that I was just, it was very overwhelming. I was a bit of a mess, but it's just how I get these days, and I just embrace it now. I don't fight it anymore. So y'all had to witness me just embracing it, and and I really enjoyed it, and I hope you all did too. So.
Yeah, we did. We loved your show.
Thank
really.
you.
So you've already mentioned your background as a scientist. How would you say does this background have an influence on your songwriting?
Well, the process, I kind of jokingly call myself a song scientist, a researcher, like a life researcher. In the scientific field, you do a lot of field research. You find data. You find you create a hypothesis. And then you go and try to prove it. And so I go out into the field and I find these ideas, and I try to find these truths, and then what I believe is the truth, and then I try to prove it. And so I turn it into a song, and then the ultimate test is when I play it in front of people. That's when I start experimenting. And you start to get your results pretty quickly. That's the great thing about it in comparison to science. Sometimes you spend 5 years on one thing and you don't get the result you want. But it took 5 years to get there. With a song, instantly whether or not whether it's right or not, or you got the result that you expected from your hypothesis. So, I would say that's the only way I really apply science into it, is in that regard, because there's so much spirituality and another half of it to it that is just in the creative sector. I don't really dissect it and get all brainy about it. It very much channels through me, but I use the scientific process to prove it and authenticate it in life, because they will tell you if it's true.
So you describe yourself as Death Cab for Country. Mm-hmm. Can you explain for our listeners what exactly that means?
Well, Death Cab for Cutie is one of my favorite bands, and I'm very much indie rock is kind of the core of what I do musically, and that's my I would say sonically that's what's in my heart, but I write country songs. I write and sing country songs. You could argue whether how country I am or how country I am not. That's a subjective argument. Won't get into that. But I do write and sing country songs, but I tend to perform them more kind of like an indie rocker. So Death Cab for Country is kind of a combination of like indie rock and country. And it's just, I love puns too. So it's basically just another pun in my myriad of puns that I tend to be obsessed with. So
yeah, I actually quite love it. So that's pretty cool.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
For your fans who will get to see you play live here at C2C, what can they expect from your show?
Well, compared to Bluebird Cafe show, I would say that it's going to be louder. We're going to be a little rowdier and a little more energetic, but it's not any better or worse. It's just different, and it's going to be more raucous and more rock and roll. It's definitely more like it's an indie rock show, but they're country songs, and so that's what you're probably going to hear. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, we're excited. We will be there. So thank you very much for talking to us today.
You're very welcome. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.